The world is going through another revolution, and this time the war is not for oil, gold, or spices. It is for such a small product that is 10,000 times thinner than human hair, but so powerful that the biggest economies in the world are running behind this trivial product. This is so important that it could spark another world war. This product is a microchip. All modern electronics, from your toothbrush to refrigerators, light bulbs to vacuum cleaners, mobile phones to supercomputers, and even NASA's rovers to fighter jets. Today, the world runs on microchips. In this decade and many others to come, who will have control on the microchip industry will rule the world. But the strange part of the story is that right now no superpower rules the microchip industry. The US, Europe, China, Japan, Russia, all of them are dependent on a small country in East Asia, named Taiwan. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, Intel, Tesla, AMD, Nvidia, and many other companies' existence is dependent on this country. We have been hearing for many years now that the next war will be digital. The two superpowers of the world, the US and China, are already in the Cold War of microchips. Both countries are doing everything in their capacity to win this war. While on one hand, China is doing military operations near Taiwan to take control of microchip manufacturing. On the other hand, the US is protecting Taiwan with its full capacity. US President Joe Biden has even applied new regulations on the US chip makers on exporting the chips to China. In this video, we will talk about this new age war between the superpowers in the world. We will see why these chips are so important, what is the role of Taiwan in this, what are the US and China up to, and finally, we will see what this new age war looks like and how it can impact us. So if you are interested to know more about this digital war with microchip weapons, then stick around. The wars between the countries are not new. Power struggles between the rich nations were the reasons for major wars in history. Whether it's for oil, spices, gold, coals, or weapons, all countries want that power to dominate the globe. After World War II, the US rose as an undisputed power in the world. From computers to World Wide Web and semiconductors, all were born and brought up in US. The US has been the brightest and farthest on this journey of digital civilization. In the 1990s, it was the US only where the semiconductor boom started. With companies like Intel, Applied Materials, and Micron, US was the winner in the semiconductor industry as well. The Silicon Valley was named after these silicon-made chips only. During this time, Asian countries also started manufacturing the chips, and due to cheap labor and advanced technologies, soon they left behind the US chip industry. Today, the US, which once dominated the design and production of semiconductors, is producing only 13% of the global chips market and does not produce any advanced chips. 65% of all the chips in the world are manufactured in Taiwan, with 54% coming only from a single company, named Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, also known as TSMC. For advanced chips, the world is dependent on two companies only. The first one is Taiwan's TSMC, and the second one is South Korean company Samsung. TSMC produces 92% of the advanced chips demand in the world. Now the question is, what is stopping other countries like US from manufacturing the microchips domestically? Well, this is an interesting question, but before answering this, if you have enjoyed this video so far, please smash on the like button, and if you are interested to know more on the business stories, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell notification so that you never miss a new video from us. Thank you. All the consumer electronic goods such as phones, laptops, cars, TVs, drones have two important elements: batteries and chips. While batteries are the heart of these devices, chips are the brain, an organ that is responsible for all the computation in these gadgets. While the COVID pandemic has accelerated the growth in the demand of electronic devices, global issues like Russia-Ukraine war also brought the world to think about the alternative power sources. Today, most of the countries want to become self-sufficient in manufacturing microchip technology. In fact, the more the world is moving towards AI-powered gadgets and technologies, the demand for microchips is increasing. Companies need these microchips in order to store and process the large volume of data. Although these chips are made from silicon, which comes from sand and is the second most available resource on the earth after oxygen, but the technology to make the chips from silicon is complicated. The process has hundreds of steps and needs temperature, air, and dust controls in place. Even a small speck of dust can damage the microchip. Also, the fabrication plants to manufacture these microchips are resource heavy and cost billions of dollars and can take many years to build. And that's why these chips are referred to as digital gold. Taiwanese companies have spent billions of dollars and many years to create their dominance in this space. Major companies today need these chips to enhance the processing power of their devices. Everyone from phone manufacturers to gaming consoles, from drones to car manufacturers, from medical equipment to solar panel companies is eyeing on microchips. But this is not all. The major governments need these microchips in the country to become more powerful. In the last few decades, the oil and gas-rich countries had the power to run the largest economies in the world. The next many decades, microchips will run the economies. The future of countries, from the militaries to exploring new planets, everything is dependent on these advanced chips. Currently, the microchip industry is very fragmented and there are many concerns in the supply chain. The technology, microchips and processors ship back and forth between America, Asia and Europe. US and China, the tech superpowers, want to close this gap and become self-sufficient with advanced microchips. US President Joe Biden introduced the Chips and Science Act in August last year to provide $52.7 billion for American semiconductor research, development, manufacturing and workforce development. The US has also introduced restrictions on domestic companies like Nvidia on exporting GPUs to China. China is not happy about the restrictions and says it is a technological blockade on their country. Right now, TSMC is the only company the world relies on for advanced chips. TSMC has its branches in both US and China, but now the US has tightened the laws for TSMC as well to sell the chips to China if there is any US technology involved in the chip manufacturing process. China also makes a lot of semiconductors, but they import the equipment and technology to manufacture the advanced chips from Taiwanese companies like TSMC, US companies like Nvidia, Intel, AMD, and Netherlands-based companies like ASML. The US government has put restrictions on these companies to export to China if there are any US technologies in process. This made it hard for the Chinese companies to move further in this technology. As per US lawmakers, these restrictions are important for national security purposes and to keep advanced technologies out of the wrong hands. The US has concerns from China doing military operations near Taiwan. The US is worried that if China took control of Taiwan, it would cut off the chip supply or sell it more expensively, and then it would be a bigger threat than the oil exporters. But the US itself is working closely with TSMC in growing the microchip technology in US. TSMC initially had plans to invest $12 billion facility in Arizona, but in December last year, TSMC increased the investment to $40 billion with another facility. Till date, we have witnessed the wars of natural resources, but this time we are in the war of human-made technological resources. The digital gold of microchips is going to give birth to the future superpower. The US and China are already in the Cold War over Taiwan, who right now holds the super weapon of microchips. Both nations have their reasons. The US wants its glory of being a pioneer in the microchip industry back. China, on the other hand, has their reasons to empower its country with advanced technologies. We have been hearing about the nuclear war for many decades now. But let's accept this. Nukes means destruction, and everyone knows this. So no matter how many nuclear weapons countries build to show their power, in reality, the next war will be with the digital weapons, where there won't be any humans on the borders, but the AI-powered robots who will be handled by the more sophisticated technologies in the backend. There won't be any destruction of civilizations, but the showcasing of powers. And in no doubt, the winner will be the microchip superpower. So, that's about the microchip war today. Let us know what you think. Who will be the winner of this new age weapon? The US, China, Taiwan, or someone else? Let us know in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like it. If you are new here, please subscribe to our channel and help us grow. We are trying to bring more amazing business stories to you. Also, let us know what other business stories you would like to see. With that said, I shall catch you in the next one. Thank you and have a nice day.